Welcome back to Poorly Educated Today in the News. Now, folks, gather round your radios, your internet machines, or whatever space-age tin can y'all use. Because today's news feels like somebody put the whole world in a blender, hit pulse, and then said, looks drinkable. We got global drama, Arctic real estate shopping, a Venezuelan heist movie, the government firing folks like it's Black Friday at the DMV, the entire nation freezing harder than a deer in headlights, and an economy wobbling like a baby goat on roller skates. So let's dig in before the power grid gives up again. Segment 1. The Board of Peace and the $1 Billion Club. All right, y'all. President Trump rolled into Davos and launched something called the Board of Peace, which is basically the UN if the UN charged cover, required bottle service, and made you Venmo $1 billion just to sit down. You got Tony Blair hanging out like he's trying to win back custody of global diplomacy, Marco Rubio suddenly feeling tall in a room full of billionaires, and Jared Kushner acting like he's back in his natural habitat, a meeting you cannot afford to be in. Now, this whole thing ain't a club for peace. No, it's a club where you pay for peace, like a geopolitical Chuck E. Cheese. If you ain't got $1 billion, you don't get a seat. If you got $2 billion, maybe you get a cup holder. Meanwhile, France and Germany backed out faster than a redneck walking into a vegan BBQ. And Canada's invite got revoked when their prime minister said, "I don't think we should have to pay a cover charge for diplomacy." Son, that's how you know this is serious. Canada got spicy. And look, Gaza's now run by a technocratic HOA of intelligence chiefs, Gulf investors, and a general named Jasper Jeffers, who sounds like he should be commanding a Civil War reenactment brigade. So yeah, the US basically built a brand new world order, but it looks like it came from Wish.com. Segment 2. Greenland, Tariffs, and the Golden Dome. Now let's talk about Greenland again. America's favorite store brand, Antarctica. Trump told Europe, "Hand it over or we slap y'all with tariffs so big they come with their own zip code." We're talking 10% now, 25% by summertime. Europeans panicked, like someone told them Olive Garden was replacing pasta with spray cheese. Turns out the reason he wanted Greenland was for the Golden Dome, which sounds less like missile defense and more like what a televangelist names his retirement yacht. But nope. Apparently Greenland is prime real estate for catching Russian missiles taking the scenic polar route. So they all meet at Davos, do some billionaire yoga, and walk out with a framework. Denmark keeps Greenland, America gets access, NATO gets stressed out, and Europe collectively says, "We need a drink." Honestly, this whole negotiation felt like somebody trying to buy their neighbor's land for a shed, gets refused, threatens to burn down the HOA, and then settles for borrowing the driveway. Segment 3. Operation Absolute Resolve. The Venezuela Snatch and Grab. Folks, the U.S. straight up performed a geopolitical DoorDash in Venezuela. Special forces dropped into Caracas like they were looking for Black Friday deals, scooped up Nicolas Maduro and his wife and said, "Room for two, no tip." Then Washington declared, "We now control Venezuelan oil," like they found it on Craigslist. Their goal? Drive global oil prices down to $50 a barrel. Experts say that's possible right after pigs achieve escape velocity. Meanwhile, Russia pretended to be mad, China actually got mad, and Latin America said, "Hey, is America allowed to just do that?" And the answer apparently is, only if no one can stop them. The whole world is calling this resource imperialism, which is fancy talk for you took their stuff. But let's be honest, every redneck in America knows this playbook. We've all borrowed our neighbor's lawnmower and then acted confused when they ask for it back. Segment 4. Doge, data breaches, and 10,000 pink slips. Next up, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, where Elon Musk and friends try to run the government the same way he runs Twitter, loudly, chaotically, and with an occasional explosion. DOGE got caught digging around in Social Security data, passed it to some political group, and claimed it was part of an audit. Buddy, if I walked into the DMV and poked around behind the counter, I can't just say, "Relax, I'm auditing." Then we got a lawsuit from 10,000 HHS employees who say they were fired due to flawed data. You know you messed up when the judge looks at your paperwork and goes, "This ain't even wrong. This is something else entirely." DOGE is basically that one cousin who insists he can fix your car, then hands it back with 3 extra screws in the cup holder and says, "Well, it runs, don't it?" Segment 5. Winter Storm Fern and the Grid tapping out. Now let's talk weather, because Winter Storm Fern is out here treating America like a freezer-burned TV dinner. Texas is covered in ice thicker than a Waffle House menu. Oklahoma's buried in snow, and half the country's colder than a pastor's handshake after you skip tithe week. ERCOT swore the grid was stronger than ever, but then it face-planted the moment a snowflake looked at it funny. PJMs out east say demand is so high, the grid is basically holding its breath and hoping for the best. Air travel, gone. DFW and Love Field turned into hockey rinks for airplanes. Southwest canceled flights before they even scheduled them. Delta waved a white flag across 5 states. When airlines hand out weather waivers, that's code for, "You ain't going nowhere, sweetheart." Basically, the whole country is reenacting that scene where you try to start your truck at -15 degrees, and it replies, "Nah, man, not today." Segment 6. The Economy, Gold Rush 2.0, Big Tech Shenanigans, and Sports. Now let's mosey on over to the economy, where everything's shakier than a possum on a trampoline. The Dow dropped, the S&P flatlined, and the Nasdaq floated upward because tech investors believe in AI more than rednecks believe in duct tape. Gold hit $5,000 an ounce. 5,000. At that point, you ain't buying gold. You're adopting it. Silver's over $100. We're back in a frontier economy. I fully expect to hear someone say, "That'll be 2 chickens and a bar of silver, partner." Meanwhile, TikTok is now co-owned by Oracle, Walmart, and some folks close to J.D. Vance. Yep, the world's most chaotic app is now run by America's most chaotic retail chain. And in sports, Trump is rallying every commissioner for America, 250. USC hired Gary Patterson to fix a defense that leaks more than an abandoned above-ground pool, and the Vegas Golden Knights continue scorching the NHL like they spawned in rookie mode. America might be falling apart, but our sports teams? Still arguing about money and coaches, tradition matters. In conclusion, y'all, this country is running at full speed while its shoelaces are tied together. We got billionaires running world peace like a subscription service. Europe's still mad we almost tariffed them into oblivion. Maduro sitting in U.S. custody wondering what the heck happened. Doge turning government efficiency into government chaos. Winter trying to freeze us all into popsicles. And an economy that's one bad headline away from trading goods and goats again. But as always, we here at Poorly Educated keep you warm, informed, and thoroughly confused, just like America likes it.